God, it's Friday. Welcome to the show. I am Murayo Afolabi Brown. As always, I have the ladies with me. Hello, BC.
Excellent morning.
The hair, everybody has been commending your hair all morning. Very, very nice. 70s, 80s party.
Yeah.
If I have a party, I'll just come to you and say, Auntie, that's big hair, right? How you doing?
I'm doing amazing. Oh, really?
Yeah, it does.
Yeah,
it does perfectly
House
with the
of
outfit.
BC, hair by BC.
Are you for it? That's yours?
Yeah, that's mine.
I just found out there's BC Empire.
You just found out.
I just found out. I wasn't told.
It covers all of my business.
I was going to tag you for something.
House of BC does hair.
House of BC clothes, hair by BC, hair. Like the name.
Nice.
BC consults, all the coaching things.
Everything
and
under
all
the
of that.
empire.
Yeah, under the
This is not
empire. So we are resuming our book club for January. We're starting our review tonight, 9 p.m. every Friday. So we pick a book for a month. We break it down into chapters. Then each week we review.
Join your book club.
Who Moved My Cheese is the first book we're starting with.
That one now.
Yeah,
Okay.
so it's more like we're revising.
review,
We read it 2 years ago when the book club started. We are revising, and I wanted to start with something simple.
Yeah,
And of course, we even have new people.
Yes,
so
I have new people, so we'll start with that and get into the meats later on.
Maybe next month, let me know the book you're reviewing. So
You're not a member of the book club. You want to be knowing the book like that.
No, as in, I would like to join your book club.
Yeah.
So
Okay,
maybe the next
we'll talk.
Move my cheese. I've done like a few times.
Yeah.
Maybe the
No, I
second-
can always
second
give you something else if you've done that. Yeah.
Right.
It's-
How are you doing?
I'm fine. Me, I got a book gift today. No book day.
No book day.
Yes, so we're using that this evening, me and my madam.
Okay.
Every evening now I have to read
Is it a
some-
children's book?
I think so.
Okay, you haven't looked
yes,
at it.
I think I'll have to read it this evening. I have a lot of books for her that we've not sat together to read because I'm doing an Islamic book for her.
It's the book that Dr. Emmanuel gave us that I started reading. The money book.
Okay.
I'm enjoying it. It's big. But
I
it's
listened to the CD
It's actually
instead.
easy to read. Interesting. And I like the words here. I like the language he uses. Very easy to understand. You find that you actually go faster when you read it.
I will try it.
How are you doing,
So
Mariam?
I have a shout out,
shout-out.
a 50th wedding anniversary shout out to Venerable and Mrs. Samuel
Yes, that was the
from
one.
their daughter, yes.
I saw that one too.
50th.
Oh,
50th
congratulations.
year.
Wedding anniversary.
Wow, that was really
Fantastic. 50 years. We need to interview the Mrs.
Yes, so we need to bring them to learn the skill.
And
then I have a shout out, a special shout out from Buki. Buki is our producer, and she's saying thank you and happy birthday to Mr. Adebayo Adeyemi Ismail. He's an accountant with Luz, and he helped not only, her son was in the hospital for a month, and he did a surgery, and not only did he help assist to make her work, her stay there easier, he also donated blood for the young man. Wow. Thank you so much. Happy birthday. May you enjoy the rest of your life. More grace, more blessings. And my best friend. Yes. Let me call him the way I used to call him. Eshu Abayomi Olohun ni o je. Yes, Ogubi is the guy, my best friend since childhood. And today is his birthday. Happy birthday, Abayomi.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Your wife knows I love you, so I love you. We're brothers, and that's the person that can open me like a book anyway and just tell me the whole secrets.
Wow.
Happy birthday, yo.
Happy birthday to
Happy
you.
birthday.
I'm fine. We're talking about vultures again today.
Oh, nice. Cool.
Just reminding us that vultures are very important in our environment. When you see them, please do not kill them. They help protect us from some diseases because they feed on carcasses that would otherwise, rot, and they'll spread
Mutate
diseases
and
into
spread
our
disease.
water. Sometimes we have these dogs that eat them, and before you know it, diseases go right back into your home. So when you see vultures, please do not kill them. Save them. Mariah, don't say what you normally say.
No, I'm not.
Accept.
Absolutely not. I think I would listen in the first few weeks.
Yeah.
We're
Now,
not used
just
to
accept it.
I've accepted it. Okay. Okay, so I finally have a shout out from Mr. Oluwaseun Irewole. He's wishing his parents, I think, 61st wedding anniversary.
Wow.
61 years. How old are they? Wow. Says, good morning, Mara. Please help me celebrate my parents. Today is 8th January, their 61st wedding anniversary. Wow. Their name is Elder and Mrs. John Irewole. Hey. Wow. Congratulations.
I thought you wanted to do birthday shout out to HMO, the head of service. I think. Lagos State. Lagos people.
Commissioner for Education, I don't work for the whole of Lagos State. Please.
Okay, I left it for you.
What's his name?
Hakeem Muriokola.
Yeah, today is his birthday.
Yes.
Oh, really? Wow. Congratulations.
I saved it for you, Lagosians. Since we are more Lagosians.
Yeah, it is well. It is well. Okay, so much happening. School starts for me tomorrow. So we'll start our online classes and back to
you took
the
a break?
grind.
You had a break?
It was a Christmas break now.
They didn't give us break.
Yeah.
I was jacking during Christmas.
So the grind starts tomorrow, and that's it. Let's go on a break. When we come back, we go through the front pages of the papers. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Right, we'll start with the nation. 30 minutes COVID-19 test kits for hospitals, says PTF. Electricity tariff hike on hold. Picture here of condemnation trails soldiers' invasion of Ghana Parliament. Rebuilding Lagos will take long time, says Sanwo-Olu. NIMC workers strike calls NIN registration, stalls actually, NIN registration, and free fared killed in Amotekun Oyo residents clash. Okay, let's start with the major headline. Yeah.
So NCDC is saying very soon Nigerians will be able to take a COVID-19 test, and in 30 minutes we would know what their status is, unlike the other tests, which takes between 24 to 72 hours. And the reason why they're using the rapid diagnostic test, that's what it's called, is because they had already recorded success when they used this during the national NYSC core, and also they used it for a lot of health workers, so they were deploying it to general hospitals and clinics. And also the Ministry of Health is saying that definitely there's an increase in transmission with the numbers, and that as of yesterday, reporting to the as of yesterday, we've had a total of 92,705 cases of COVID-19 infection. 76,396 cases have been successfully treated and discharged. We've had 1,319 deaths.
Right.
We've crossed the 1 million mark of testing, so we've done over 1 million tested over 1 million samples, and they're also specifically speaking to health workers to not let their guard down. You know, they've recorded a lot of infections as well.
In addition to the related stories, so they're saying that they also want to provide oxygen. They have that issue with oxygen, so they're going to have in each state they're going to get an oxygen hospital, I think, or I can't remember the name they called it. In each, they said the federal government plans oxygen interventions in states, so each state will get one hospital that's fully equipped for oxygen for those who are who need that treatment for the COVID-19 cases.
Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu has said that rebuilding the infrastructure that was destroyed during the NSAS protest will take a long time. He said it takes just a day to destroy, but it takes about 10 years to rebuild. And he said that they have their priorities right already. They are working, they are starting with small and medium scale businesses, those who lost out during the NSAS protests, either through the burning of their shops or looting. So they are supporting them with soft loans and helping them to stand on their feet. But when it comes to the infrastructure, they are going to be getting a lot of funds from public and private sector so that it can rebuild, especially the transportation, the buses and all of that.
The Punch. NIMC workers accuse FG of covering up COVID-19 in agency. Fuel tanker crashes, sparks fire on Lagos Highway. Amotekun probes alleged killing of 3 Oyo youths. Lagos building 10 oxygen tents to battle COVID-19, so they're called oxygen tents. Yeah. Buhari Osinbajo SGF to take COVID-19 vaccine on live telecast. FG suspends power tariff hike, says 55% users subsidized. And poor power supply strangulating manufacturing, says MAN. But let's take the major headline of the picture story. Okay.
Picture story for me. So yesterday morning at 9:30, 2 tankers were trying to bypass each other at the airport, the ramp into the airport from Oshodi, coming towards Oshodi, to caught fire yesterday. Fortunately, that happened in front of the fire service station at Toyota bus stop yesterday. And of course, we saw, how big the fire was. Lagos State responded immediately. The head of LASEMA, that's Osoitolu, was there. The CP himself, Odumosu, was there to control traffic. Until now, there's an order for people not to use that bridge. Now, till proper whatever is done by the engineers to ascertain whether the bridge is good for use because of the chemicals used to quench the fire and the effect of the fire itself. I'm just taking this story just to to further buttress, to reiterate the situation that might happen if this were to happen in Satellite Town. We'll wait for fire service from Festac, and I doubt if they have fire, if they have water, because it's the federal one. So Lagos State, we need a Lagos State fire service for Satellite Town because of the kind of commercialization you are doing there. Even if it has to be, it should be an immediate project, something that we'll see and at least just count.
So the National Identity Management Commission started a strike yesterday over the fear of COVID-19 spread in the agency. According to them, they said 3 persons had been infected, and the commission did not say anything to them, so just left them in the dark. And they complained that they are not properly equipped. Some of their salaries have not been paid. They do not have all the PPEs to protect themselves. And the customers who come for the NIN registration do not come with their face mask. So they are not adhering to the COVID-19 protocol. So their lives are at risk. So they are saying they are likely going to be having a meeting today, Friday, and get the outcome of. But now people need to understand that they need to be protected, paid well for them to carry out their jobs.
So just to follow up on the Kaduna nude party story. So 4 people have been arraigned concerning that nude party. His name is Abraham Albera, the husband of the owner of the lounge. He's also the public secretary to PDP in Kaduna State, and they're being charged for attempted adultery and organizing a nude party in the breach of the COVID-19 protocol. So according to their charge sheets, even though we have heard all the story we've heard from the other side, so the charge sheets, while they were arraigned before court, said that on the 27th of December, policemen were called, and when they got there, they were called and told that such a party was holding, and when they got there, about 50 people who were nearly naked, dancing very close to each other, were seen, and while arrest, this according to the charge sheet, and while arrest was about to be carried out, everybody fled. And so that is what they are being arraigned for the party and for also attempted adultery.
So just for information, under the penal code, adultery is an offense. Okay. Attempted adultery is also an offense.
Okay. But that was not...
Because we are not using the
didn't hold according to...
Well, according to them, they said...
He held.
27th of December.
In their mind.
No,
there are both sides of the story.
There
So
are
I
two
guess
sides
we'll
to every
hear
story. So
at
the
the
police
end of the
officers who got there must have their account. They're always.
This matter happened before the 27th, though.
Exactly.
There was a flyer that the party will happen 27th.
The organizers themselves said they did not put any address
in the flyer.
But these people, the police people say
They need good
they
lawyers
saw-
because this is such an open and shut case. It doesn't make any sense.
No, we
Get
can't do this trial on this table.
Okay, we
Yes,
can't do the
no,
trial.
based
Okay,
on
no
the
problem.
evidence.
But it just doesn't make any sense to the layman. We are laymen and anyway. Daily Sun. Whew. FG makes U-turn, stops fresh electricity tariff hike. NIN registration halted as NIMC workers begin strike. Sanwo-Olu earmarks 15 billion naira for rebuilding Lagos project. Target 60 billion monthly IGR. Ohaneze poll, voters examine Obiozo, Uwazurike, Asoluka's strengths and others. Okay,
The
major headline.
Yes, so the federal government has reversed the new tariff increase, and they are saying the Minister for Power has given out a directive to NEC so that they can revert back to the tariff that was used in December 2020. They are going to be using it till January 2020 to give the committee time to come to a conclusion on what's next to do. But DISCOs are saying that they've not gotten a directive yet. And they also said that, people spoke about the fact that they increased the tariff by 50%. So they are saying that they actually did not increase the tariff. What they did was just to adjust it a little bit from bands A, B, D, and they did A, B, C. They didn't touch D and E. They are still, government is still subsidizing their tariff with about 55%. So people need to get that clarity.
Okay, we have to run. Is there any other story missing here that was important? Amotekun or which?
There's one of NNPC shopping for about $1 billion naira to have
There's one of the displaced people.
refinery.
Oh.
Amotekun quickly.
Just to
Do we
make
have
sure
time
that-
for that?
Yeah, very quickly. We have to run.
Yes.
Go ahead.
So there was a party or a carnival that was supposed to be held in Oyo State, but then I think the state government had cancelled because of the COVID-19.
Second wave.
Yes, but youths decided to go and have that carnival, and while they gave them time, at least don't not exceed 10 p.m., they had a clash with Amotekun. According to one side of the story, said Amotekun started shooting, and about 3 persons died. Another story is saying that it wasn't actually the youths that Amotekun shot, that they were chasing armed robbers. So it was just two conflicting stories.
Okay, that's all we can take on Front Page Review. When we come back, we'd like to discuss your thoughts on the incident that happened at the U.S. Capitol. Let's hear Nigerians' views. You can send in your messages. We'd like to discuss and see, not just to gloat, because many Nigerians would like to gloat, but the focus now is what are the learnings from this experience. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Thanks for staying with us. So before we go into our topic, we have one more birthday shout out from Anaburo Okoluwa Martins. Today's her mother's 72nd birthday. Happy birthday, Ma. God bless you many more years. It's important for us to mention that because when people send these messages to us because they want us to mention it. So happy birthday, Ma. God bless you. Moving on now to a lot of us followed the events that happened in America shortly after President Trump addressed his supporters, vowing never to concede the 2020 elections in a speech on the eclipse of the rioters stormed the Capitol, breaching all police barricades, forcefully entering the building. Many described this as shocking and a setback to democracy. Now, many Nigerians have been gloating and saying, you see, that's them. It's now happening to them. But it's important for us to step back and begin to see how we can assess the situation. Because with an insurrection, just as what we saw and observed in the US, it brings to mind the natural ability of man, the innate ability of man, regardless of where he is from, to do certain things. And is that reality we would like to discuss this morning? Because sometimes Nigerians, we criticize ourselves so much. We make ourselves look as if it's only us, so it's only in this part of the world. We are very used in Nigeria, in Africa. But suddenly, we are seeing a replica what happens in Africa, even in Ghana.
I saw that.
It happened. It is this whole that they still miss and we condemn each other. So the truth is, let us look at what happened and see how do you understand it? How do you assess it? And what does it mean to you as a Nigerian? And how do you reassess yourself as a Nigerian vis-a-vis what we are seeing abroad? I'd like to start with Mariam. Want to go or BC?
Mariam, she's the American.
I'm so far from American. There's nothing American about me.
Yeah.
Oh, you want to go?
Let me go.
Okay.
See, people want to be modest.
No, I can't go.
So this America of A, I thought they would have occupied America now. Yes, now they will go and United States of America will occupy themselves, and take over, and attack the sovereignty the way their own sovereignty, the way they attacked that of other nations when this happened in defense of democracy. But we saw their president incite this kind of insurrection on national TV, and everybody was, confused as to what to happen. After the elections, he refused to concede. He followed the legal channels. He went to court. Just like our people here too will go to court and they will still do. There's something innate in man that is general to all, and it's also legal, because if not, there will be no defense. There's a defense in law. When I studied it, I used to wonder why. It's called bonafide claim of rights, of ownership. So if this table was mine, for instance, and Obiajulu comes here to put her cup, I can go ahead and start breaking the cup. And when the police arrest me, I will raise that defense and say, because I want to lay claim to my table, is why I'm throwing out everything that is on the table. So I could do so, raise that defense to break it, which is why when our legislators decided to put that defense in our criminal books and provide it, is because they know in a person's nature you will go to any length sometimes to defend what you truly believe in. But when it now happens in political sphere, we will not hear it's African, it's not black people and a lot of other things like that. So the possibility of it happening, the drama even started the moment they were doing their elections. The way the president started sounding like Idi Amin, it's just sort of
let me come to Mariam.
Okay. So for me, American problems, and I know that they will sort themselves out. For me, what's most important is how it reflects on us, how it affects us, what we learn from it, what it says about us. And for a lot of us, we have been almost told to believe that, as you mentioned, it's an African thing. It's in our blood. We're just unruly people. We don't believe in anything. We don't believe in law and order. We don't want anything to work. That is just how the black man is made. Some people have even come to believe that there's something just not quite complete about us. But for me, what it has shown is that with the years of work that America has put, the institutions that they have put in place, it took only one egocentric, rude, just ignorant person to break it down and make a shame and a sham of their democracy. And so for me, it shows that what we are going through in Nigeria is not a people problem. It's our leadership. It's a leadership problem. If our leaders are corrupt, if our leaders are not truthful, if our leaders do not uphold law and order, if they do not uphold, there's this word we always use for the rule of law, your people will not feel any justice, and they want justice. So that is a man that has not upheld anything that stands for democracy in his country, and see what it has caused, and that's what is happening in our country. BC,
another thing that the news everybody observed was the fact that the National Guard weren't called during Black Lives Matter protests. Immediately, those boys came on the streets. The National Guard, their army was called. This police, everybody was there, and they totally barricaded. Now, this happened. These boys entered the Capitol all the way to Pelosi's office. They sat down. They destroyed. Army didn't show up. The police did not show up. It was the police within the Capitol that was restraining these guys before the Metropolitan Police now eventually came. The point, therefore, is it was almost like a deliberate act to allow this unruly act to come about. Now, this is a very African thing where we see it. What happened? They're not called in the army. Remember, listen, I'm trying to make a point here. When ENSA started, calling the army, calling this, we have to stop them. This happened. Oh, we cannot do the army. We cannot bring in the army. We have to be Nigerian police. Therefore, I'm asking, we see an American president refusing to do the right thing. to stop this unruly behavior. For us, what does that? How do you understand? How do you interpret this as an African? Because if it had happened in Nigeria, we would have said, we allowed the breakdown of law and order to this point.
We couldn't stop
and we
it.
couldn't stop it.
Okay, so for me, I just feel that everywhere in the world is somehow the same. The way the human beings behave, the only thing that separates you is when you now start evolving, when you now choose to say, okay, I want to be a better man than that I can be, the best that I can be. And if you do not choose that, you're still going to be at that level of viciousness, and it cuts across countries. Now, America has been so beautiful in their, marketing? They have marketed themselves to the world outside that they are perfect. They are the ones that uphold democracy. They uphold the rule of law. When you stay there, you see the difference. I was in New York, was it 2 years ago? That same day I landed, they killed some people on my streets. The hotel that I stayed, people were, I saw beggars, people sleeping under the, and I'm like, is this the almighty America? What's happening here? But we do not see all of those. What they paint to us, what they show us is the positivity of their country. We do not get in there and see the negatives. Now, Mr. Trump decided to now show us their other side. This is not the first time things like this are happening, but because now the touchlight is on everyone. Social media is there. You can't hide some information. It just comes out. It just takes somebody to get their phone and show you what is happening, and you see what's happening everywhere else. So it's not something they could contain from the outside world, and we're able to see. That tells me that the problem we have is ego. Now, when a true leader understands that it's not about me, it's about the interest of the people I am sent to lead, you will concede when you need to concede. A true hero knows when to step back from a fight. A true hero knows when not to continue.
Let me build on that a bit, because we always say that America has strong systems, but the system didn't work. Let me tell you why the system did not work. Because if the system had worked, the moment those guys, because first of all, they already knew.
Yes.
We saw the climate. That in fact, there were so many tweets online saying that this is going to happen. Same way they were saying that they'll come and burn TVC, they'll burn this. We all kind of knew something was going to happen.
It was an intel.
People knew that this guy's going to march to the Capitol. Now, because of that intel, the system that we say is so strong should have automatically
found a way to stop
a way to ensure to introduce the National Guards. But it didn't happen. No. The system did not work either because of their commitment to the president as a person, or the commitment to not committed to their role.
We must still give it to the system in America, because the Congress, while all this madness was happening, were debating how to declare the president-elect president, whether or not.
They ran away.
When we were landed, but they were in the sitting. In fact, what we would like to see our National Assembly do is show such independence of the executive, the way the Congress did. Here, we will still be reminding them, are we going to debate? What, do you want to invite? Do you want to summon? Do you understand? They will still be looking at legalese while these things are happening. Because the Congress were already debating. The people who were for him were saying they were for him on the floor of the House, and the people who were against him were voting on.
Let me play. Okay, go ahead.
Nima, you see all this thing that you're saying. The reason why it fell the way it fell, the way it happened was because they would say the Republicans, the ones that got the president, the party, refused to do what they were meant to do from the very beginning. They dragged their feet, they enabled his bad behavior till it got them to that place. So there was no heroism, there was nothing heroic about what they did. They finally had to do that because it was now so tiring, and also for their own political ambition, so that they will know tomorrow where you stand. So now that's where I wanted to go. You hear something about legacy that they kept saying over and over again. You need to have something over money that is more important to you, over power, and that is legacy. If people have that thing where it says my integrity, my legacy, my name, people will be more careful of how they go. But we don't have that here. There's not that one thing we're afraid that if that finally leaves, we'll be ashamed of ourselves. Once you have nothing to be ashamed of, you just do everything.
Another thing that occurred to me from the happening in the US was that if for whatever reason Trump remains president, and he has 13 or 12 days. He still has 12 days. Anything can happen to Biden. Anything can happen, right? Let's just imagine he remains president. Do you know that those who are anti-Trump today might become as volatile as the pro-Trump guys?
Yeah.
So what has told me that the average American, regardless of how we see how civilized they come across, they are just as unruly as that man, that pro-Trump man on the street, because they have not been pushed to the wall the same way the pro-Trump supporters have been. He's telling us the innate behavior of a man.
Yes. It we must also understand a man to defend that thing that you truly believe is right. So the anti-Trump guys were patient enough for the system for the time to reach exhaustion. They didn't believe. If it was in Nigeria here by now, they would not pay the two sides.
No. It's not about patience. They were constantly instigated, pushed until they did what they did. What the difference is that we have a system. They have it. We don't have that sort of system. There's no respect for a system. There's no respect for institution that is in place, so that the innate ability for you to fight be an unruly for what you think is your right. We do not have a system that makes sure that this is the way to go about. Either you go legally, you stand on a queue
and trust the system. So you've landed where I'm going. So we need systems, we need institutions that we can trust here, that will give you that calmness to wait it out. What they simply
Let me go on a break.
wait.
Because let's go on a break. When we come back, we've talked about the US. Now bring the conversation home. What have we learned? How do we now construct? Now that we learned from the US, how do we begin to build our system to be more, to have that structural integrity? Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your view will be right.
Thanks for staying with us. So we've seen earlier that we discussed the US's reaction to the insurrection that happened a couple of days ago, and the fact that many had compared it to their behavior towards the Black Lives Matter protests, and they see how the police restrained themselves from these protesters compared to how they did with the Black Lives Matter protesters. Now, we want to bring the conversation home to Nigeria, where we as a people, we've condemned ourselves for so long. We've made it look as if we are a hopeless case in areas such as this. That, we have bad leaders. Our systems are corrupt. Now, the world's strongest democracy is seen crumbling down. What are the lessons we Nigerians are taking from this? It's obvious, it's clear that the singular thing that differentiates the American man from the Nigerian is that respect for the rule of law. Or the enforcement of the rule of law. Because we have rule of law in Nigeria. That's not the problem. The enforcement is the issue, because the American man that wants to slap his wife, or that wants to throw something on the floor, or that wants to run the red light, it's not because he's better than the Nigerian. Because you know, if I do it, if they catch me. So the downfall driver that is parking on the road, the patriarchy, the Nigerian man that just beats his wife anyhow, or the Nigerian man that is stealing from the government presses, it's not because he's a madman. It's because the rule of law we have is not enforced to put him in check. That's the singular difference between me, us, and them.
A good example, you hear many people say, why is it that when Nigerians travel abroad, they act differently? They behave well. Their blood doesn't change when they travel abroad. The color of their skin does not change. It's just the enforcement of the rule of law, as you just said. So the thing is, for me, as I said earlier, it's a leadership problem. That is why we are where we are. So yes, as human beings, we are all the same, but the truth is that if you do not have a good leader, but first of all, I wanted to say that should we propose like a Nobel Peace Prize for Jonathan, good luck Jonathan?
Yes.
Let me tell you why I say it. Sometimes we do not understand the blessing of what we have
until we lose it.
Now looking at Trump behaving like a spoiled child, I now realize how much what good Jonathan did at the time that he did it.
Yes.
You know, considering all that has come, if he had just acted even a little bit that he was not going to hand over, it would have caused us so much problem. What he did has helped us, to go through these 4 years and these 8 years that we went through. So for me, I will be proposing that, please, Jonathan, for what you did, I think you deserve a Nobel Peace Prize.
We should give it to him. Yeah. Honestly, we should.
I never knew I would say that.
Yeah.
I never thought I would say that, but honestly, I have to at this point, because reevaluating the entire situation, I'm thinking to myself,
Jonathan had more supporters than Trump.
Because his countenance, his demeanor after he stepped down, after he considered victory, was calm. Because if he had allowed the pressure around him to do what he would not only had wanted to have done.
He has people.
Yes.
He has to fight for the Niger Delta.
Somebody was ready on the day of collection, ready to scatter the vote. So they were waiting for the last order. What's his name again? The Orubebe. So, he was there.
He shall not take it.
There were like multiple copies of him outside waiting to do the same thing. But then, what I wanted to emphasize was not only did the institutions in America work, the people's collective will also counted. Now we talk about goodness, rule of law and order, and in Nigeria, an ordinary traffic example will show you that one person will break it and the rest of people will continue to follow. Let's understand clearly what is legal, what is rule, what is law, what is order, and everybody should try and conform, and we will punish any wrongful behavior against what we know is right. In Nigeria here, when it comes to my child, your child, a relative, we start to make excuses. And we allow, before we know, people now generalize and say that is who we are. That is not who we are.
For us to even get to a point where our leaders now start instituting systems that will work, it has to start from us. It has to start from patriotism. Now, we are the leaders that we have. There is no difference between the leader out there and the person who is working as a clerk somewhere. You just need to give him a table and a chair and he becomes a god. Now, when we start changing the mindset to understand that it's not about you, it's about Nigeria. It's not about your tribe, it's about Nigeria. You will see that we'll start raising people who will understand that they need to institute systems, they need to obey the rule of law, not because of their personal benefit, but for everybody else. That's the only way we are going to have leaders that will obey, that will give us the system, that will not care that the system will affect them when they are no longer there.
Let me disagree with you slightly, okay? We cannot create systems. Christians evolve over time.
Yes.
So as we are building and strengthening our rule of law, and strengthening our enforcement, gradually the system begins to be strengthened.
How do we strengthen? Hold on. How do we strengthen the rule of law when we do not believe in the rule of law? When we do not enforce the rule of law? When it comes to us personally. So let me tell you. Let me give you a quick example of what happens. So you don't want to enforce this rule of law somehow because you know that you are committing the same crime at the back, and you know that your position is protecting you right now. So you don't want to enforce it so that when you leave and you are caught, it will not be enforced against you. That's where we have the problem. But if you get into a position and you are not thinking about how you are going to protect yourself when you leave, you will put the right, you ensure you enforce the rule of law.
Can stop. It's like this. So all of us want water in this cup, and we are giving spoons to go to the river to bring water. So I continuously put my portion. You put yours. You put yours. Eventually, we have a cup full of water. But when I'm coming and I'm looking at, I cannot suffer. How many spoons exactly will fill my own? Let me fetch a bucket. So I'll put my own quickly, and you allow me. Morale then says, me too, I'm tired now, and then we break it. So we have to go back to that point where we start to drop our own drops till this system you mentioned now gets strong. So if you get to that public place and you're supposed to queue up, you just fall in line and queue. And if you have to come back another day, ask. When somebody is trying to break the line and pick somebody, insist.
My own is,
on the right thing.
Our leaders more accountable. We need to find ways to hold them accountable. We need to find ways that when they do wrong, we recall them from wherever they are. Until we're able to do that, our leaders will still, do things and get away with it.
I think, for my own closing, I think that the police needs to be empowered properly to enforce this law. The judiciary needs to be empowered properly because these are the people, these are the independent, very good, and also these are the various institutions that we need that will help us strengthen that rule of law. And once it's strengthened, hopefully by God's grace, we can begin to align, and then we won't have the kind of breakdown they have in America. Let's run with tweets feet.
The Kiss Mafia says, no be today. I always said that America leaves its own backyard to mind other people's business. At their home front, too, is a battle. But like you said, respect for the rule of law, knowing there are consequences for a wrongful deed, cautions people from going overboard majorly.
Adedayo says, this is what happens when people benefit from cheating the system and getting away. He finally met a system he had to bow down to and cooperate.
Hashtag NSAS winner says, this is a lesson for all to know that democracy is fragile. People should stop voting for strong men. Strong men can destroy institutions. Institutions should continuously be strengthened due to influences from rogue politicians.
And Taiwo says, generally we are all political animals. No matter the race, the political behavior is the same. No race is perfect at all. But the difference is the system theory and how our leaders respond to issues.
On that note, we have to end. But I think with this experience, I would hope that Nigerians who believe more in themselves and trust that we actually can fix this.
We'll get there.
We can fix this. This is not rocket science. So this experience should have shown us that, listen, believe in the man on the street. Believe in the madman. Believe in him because he also has love. He has compassion. And he actually has the ability to obey the rule of law. So once we can actually respect each other, we can have a better nation. Let's go to the break. When we come back, we'll bring in our celebrity guest. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Thanks for staying with us. Our celebrity guest is here. He's a Nigerian actor, filmmaker, producer, and director. He's one of the very amazing, versatile actors we currently have. He's acted in over 100 Nigerian movies since he began acting 15 years ago. Welcome with us, the ladies' man. I would say every single girl's dream these days. Mr. Lateef Adedimeji. You see, I forgot to tell my Aburo Sheon that you're on TV. I get that Sheon like that. Every time I message now, please watch your view.
She should come if she's around.
Sheon, I hope she's around because she really loves you. She just thinks, I mean, every young girl has a crush, and I think you are her crush. But how you doing?
Very well, thank you.
Should I take, Nigeria.
Yeah, should we just confirm
That's the question.
Did you marry?
No, we are not married.
But did your girlfriend?
Please go and correct
she's
them
my
online.
friend.
I can't tell you the number of times I
Are
searched.
you married?
I can't tell you the number of times I searched
All of our photo shoots are for brands, basically.
for brands.
okay.
But online now, Wiki and all of them are saying he's married, but he's not. He has not wedded. Or is that the information?
But do you have a
I
wife?
can't tell
Are
you
you
how many
married?
times I searched.
I'm not married, but I'm engaged.
So you're engaged. Nice. So when is our wedding?
Soon.
These men, they just say they are getting married.
coded.
Not soon. It won't be like 2 years time. This papa, please. Not this soon.
And I want to live your professional life for this private gist that I want to have. So, how many millions you want to make before the wedding happens? Because you're successful already. They will say, next thing is to go ahead. You have the money and you are successful. You have a good career. What's stopping the marriage?
Yeah, it's just good to take time. You know,
Based on your past experiences.
Yeah, this job is very critical, and then once an actor chooses wrongly, that can probably be the end of the career. Because if you don't have that home well put together, and then the outside is hot, and then you're going home and it's hot again. And then for acting world, you have everything has to be in place. Emotionally, you have to be balanced. Physically, you have to be balanced. So when the emotion is wrong, you may get it all wrong. So.
You know, just a few sentences from you just seem like a person who's got, you know, what's the word? You know, like, good head on your shoulders. And it's good to see because you're young. Many Nigerian guys, when they are young and then everybody's face is the sort of things we hear that they do, you know. So for me, really, because when I first met you, when I first saw you was on the ads that you have been on, and I even though you didn't say much there, I just thought you had very good acting. It was not in the things you said; it was also just in your face. So I want to know, where did you learn? Did you go to a proper acting school? Did you go abroad to learn it, or is this just natural to you?
Yeah, basically, it's a lot of training for me. I didn't go to any acting school per se, but I was trained by a non-governmental organization. So this is me basically replicating their model. So then what they use in getting message across to people, basically the grassroots people, is through acting, dance, and songs, basically. So they go to secondary schools, they pick some of their best students, and they take us to their own organization, train us through 18 topics to be peer educators and counselors, so that when we need to pass information across to our peers, we have the right information to pass across to them. And we work with market women and all of the commercial sex workers and all of that, giving them information about HIV, AIDS, sexually transmitted infections, and the rest of them. So that's where my training comes. They mold me into everything I am.
Wow.
So when I finish with them, instead of me going to the university to study theater arts, that's going to be like another waste of 4 years for me. Going through them for like 5 to 6 years. So I had to go for something that has a bit of theater in it. So I studied communication, and then.
Fantastic. So, you know, the dream of every actor is to get some of these major brands to endorse them. That's where the big money starts rolling in, because we know that the acting jobs, except you are an A class, you know, you start really, really small. So what was it that you did that was different, that got you some of these major adverts you've been on?
I think it's me just putting a lot into the craft. Because first, my father would always tell me, don't go for the fame. Build the craft. The fame will come for it. So basically, what I've always done is every day of my life trying to improve on my craft, to read, rehearse every now and then. Because I know someday someone from any brand will see that quality and then will come for the value. So basically, that's what
so when I see you, what comes to mind is like a Jim Carrey character. Do you get that? The people tell you, oh, you act because your facial expressions are sometimes extra. You have that thing about you. So is it that, did you watch Jim Carrey growing up, or did you just want to be your own character? Or was that one of the qualities that you have that attracted others to you?
Yeah, basically, I just want to be me. But I study a lot of actors. I sit to study a lot of actors because I have always had it in mind of not trying to be anybody. But there is every possibility of you picking from so many people, picking what is so interesting about them and add it to yourself, thereby making you a better person on your own. Right. So I studied a lot of actors, and then I pick from them. And then so I've come to learn in no time that acting is not basically about the lines. It's not about dropping the words. It's about the expression. Because you can actually say a line and then you're expressing another thing. So your expression and the line must tally, and that way you would attract.
That brings me to your online characters, because everybody now is moving on. I know you have two.
Right.
He's an Igbo man and Yakweju's character. So those two personalities, I want to know how you arrived at them. Right. Were you exactly mimicking? Because I argued with my husband that you mimicked your Igbo neighbor and an aunt for Yakweju's role. But I want to know how you arrived there and how you monetized those two characters.
Okay, the Igbo character has been with me for some time, right from my training with an NGO. Okay. My dance director, that's exactly how he speaks. So that's exactly how he speaks. So I picked it from him a long time ago. He's no longer in Nigeria, he relocated.
So perfect at it.
So, and then constant rehearsals then makes it come out. So at some point, I've always acted roles that I'm always crying or doing so many other stuff. So a lot of people don't see me as a comic person or as a comic actor. So there's a movie we were supposed to do, and then I'm on set with so many big actors, and I do not know what to do, and they are all going to speak this Yoruba. There is Sonyeri on the set, there is Okunu there. What Yoruba do I want to speak that people will notice me? So I had to go meet the director behind it. Excuse me, sir. Hey, Joe, I can't. Nothing will happen.
Like Mariah's Yoruba.
So,
you won't make impression.
They won't see nothing. So can you allow me? I have a concept in me. Can I go through that route and then see what would happen? And then he said, okay, so no Kagbo. And I said, and he loved it. I said, okay, go and do it.
You say it. This is the character.
And I said, okay. So I got on set, I did that, and then funny enough, that was the part they put in the promo. And said, give it a push, it was a quick Mojo Ajay from where? Yorùbá àwọn Igbo ni àbúṣe máa ń sọ yìí. Èèyàn kò máa wá nǹkan tí yóò sọnù káàkiri. You understand me? So that is it.
Oh, fantastic.
You know what? Many times young people just want to also know what you did right to get you to where you are. Sometimes I like to find out what in your journey, what you think people, what the mistakes you think maybe your peers have made that didn't give them the success that you would say you're enjoying, and that someone watching can learn from.
I think first is a lot of people, they come not because they have the passion for the job. They come because they also want to be known in their area. And they also want to step out of their house and hear people call their name, Moria Nino Film. And it goes beyond that. It goes beyond Moria Nino Film. Yes, Moria Nino Film and then the profession itself. They are two different things. They can actually see you in the movie, but do you carry it? And they can actually see that, do you carry it? And then when you carry it, you become a thespian. There are a lot of actors, but we do not have a lot of thespians. The thespians, they are the complete actor. They have it all put together in every way. So for me, it's me every day of my life, not allowing anything to pass by.
There are a few of them.
All right, let me go on a quick break. Come back and continue this conversation. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Thanks for staying with us. So, I'll come to BCS. Go ahead, BCS.
Yeah. So I wanted to ask this question because I know that when you're starting out in your career, even when you get to a certain level, it's not necessarily like the career would foot all of your bills. And I'm asking this question because a lot of young people have gone into the acting industry thinking that will solve all of their life's problems. Now, tell us what your experience was like. Did you have to get something else on the side that was helping you foot some of your bills till you found your footing?
Yes. At first I was in the broadcast world for a long time. I was a presenter on Orisun TV for like 5 years. I presented a talk show Mondays to Sunday with Kwame, and then I was doing that on the side. I was doing the acting on the side, and then I teach also. I lecture with Ellen Paul for some time at our theater academy in Ogba, and then I do a lot of teachings. I do a bit of dance lecturing and the rest of it. I was putting all of that together, and then still focusing on this
I'm
stuff.
actually quite fascinated about the fact that the NGO trained you.
Yes.
And there are lots of NGOs training young people, and the kids always feel like, I'm done. This is there's no light at the end of the tunnel. We're just here doing all this rehearsal, we're dancing, we're acting, and they don't see that light at the end of the tunnel. You've gone through that process. Could you encourage a young person out there who's doing all this stuff with an NGO and just feel that there's nothing that's going to come out of it?
There is a lot of things in it, because right now I am replicating their model. I've got my own NGO as well that I've been running for the past 4 years.
That's fantastic.
Got my own NGO as
helping
well.
young people
helping
also.
young people and then bringing them.
What are you doing exactly with them? You taking them to acting?
Yeah, a whole lot of them. Some of them wants to act. If you come in and then I see that the acting is not in you, I push you into the costume. If I see that that is where your strength is, because I've got my fashion line too. I've got my all of that. So if I see that you're not doing well in that line, I've got the makeup people also that train people on how to do makeup. I push you into the makeup world. If it is the music, I've got to push you into the music world, because I've got my own mini film village that I have all of these things in it. It's in the background.
Awesome.
So wait, can you collaborate? Because we get lots of young people that come into us and saying that, listen, I want to do something. Can we just push them to you and you can sort them out? Oh, fantastic.
What do you need to? So what would a young person need to join your NGO?
Yeah, I'm launching my academy February, the theater academy. So where we'll have them register online, and then we screen them, and then before we bring them in. So when you come in, because a lot of them just want to come in, they just want to be actors, they just want to be on the screen, that their face is show, but it's not compulsory. You may not be on the screen and you still be relevant. So if I see that your strength is not in the acting, I'll push you to where I feel your strength is, and you're still going to be relevant and all that. So
okay, so will you also cover script writing,
everything all together? Yes, put all.
Because we need more film villages. That hub is so important, because young people they have so much skills, but they're not sure how to harness that skill.
Exactly.
And these hubs are important for them to know how to groom themselves before they make it into the major limelight. So that's a great job you're doing. Congratulations on that.
I wanted to build on the thespian point you made that, there's know-how in this industry because you met people there that you will not look up to a few people.
Right.
I have heard comments like, you look or speak like Odulade Adekola, or that you model after him. Is it true? And if not, are there others that you really, really would love their work and you'd pick them as a role model?
Yeah, there are a lot of them that I look up to. My coming up, that's the first thing, the striking resemblance with Odun Adekola. So at a point in my career, if they need to call me, they can't call my name. They have to go on Odun first before they get to my name. So at a point, it becomes a problem for me.
Yeah.
And I need to create a gap and see that I want you to see me and see Latif. I don't want you to see Odun first and then you now come before you see me.
Are you friends with him?
Yes. So at a point, I had to start creating a lot of stuff. I had to sit, look at him, watch him a lot of times, and not follow that line. Just create something away from the line of them.
I'll come to Miriam. Let me take this clip for you so you can see him in action.
Squeeze your jaw. Pretty good, please. Bring down to 30 minutes. We're done, though. We're done. Look at this man. Look at this man. Look at him now. We're done. Wahoo. Mommy, that is him now. See, look at him. We don't even share on here. Bello share. Cat or cat there. Only one way. Only what beer than everything. It's still the same man. Yeah, do you know him? Good morning. A car. We're done, man.
Oh, something good already, boy.
Already. You know, of course, it's him now. It's him. Hey, mommy.
Sorry, who are you?
Hey, mommy. Oh, me like you could tell you. Hey, would you me that? Hey, would you me? Hey, wait to me. Then look at me closely. What did you see? Talu join to Jokoi. Hey, remember me? But you and my father, you people, you talk at length. Even let me tell you something. Let me bust your.
That's the personality issue we're talking about. You're doing something.
Yeah, so you're engaged, about to get married. It's a question we almost ask almost all the actors that come on this table is how you're able to do your acting and still keep the confidence of the madam at home. There's some scenes that you guys do, and sometimes you see the chemistry is so palpable. You can't touch it. Like, how do you what's the word now? How do you assure person at home that we're good, all is fine, it's just acting?
Yeah, it boils down to the trust. It boils down to how you guys are. Are you in a relationship, or you are friends with who you're in a relationship with? Because the friendship is key. It's very, very important. You have to build the friendship first, then from there you build the trust.
Guys, the way you're talking, I don't know. There's something that doesn't. There's something that doesn't. There's something is just not right.
What is not right?
We have to come coffee. Drink the coffee first and calm down. The way I'm saying it is too plastic. It's too perfect. Are you telling me, as a man like this, those girls that come around you like flies, are you saying that you never be tempted to do one or two things when you still have madam in the house?
There is no saint anywhere.
Now you're speaking our English. So much less.
Oh, shit.
Speaking our
let him learn. So when they come around, what happens? You just hold them, you take them out to dinner.
No, when they come around. See, it has to be a lot of carefulness. But nobody is going to say, no actor in the world will say, I may say I've not made a mistake. Yeah. Why now?
So you made a mistake.
How about shit? that is very necessary. So we just have to be. We just
When
have
you
to
go and
be.
beg her that you're sorry, you go and tell her.
Oh, of course. I'm a share our no, and then the rest is history.
It takes a strong spouse to understand or to get into a relationship with an actor, being on set. Sometimes
Would you allow her to make a mistake too?
Can she?
See, we are humans.
Oh,
So we will make mistakes.
Okay.
The truth about it is we just have to understand it and then
If
get
Madam
it clear.
were to restrict you from a particular movie because
Right.
of the cast that she thinks a particular actress, Big Bay is in the movie again.
She won't.
She will not.
is she an actor herself?
Will you listen if she ever did? Would you give her that one if she ever asked you?
How is she gonna eat?
No. If your madam is not comfortable anymore with being constantly being with you in movies, would you step aside? Would you say you're not done? You're done with being paid for in movies?
That's the career. She won't come into the career. That's the business.
She needs to
She
understand
would understand
that
that
this is
that's
a job.
the job. That's what brings the money.
What if you make mistake, you've made previous mistakes and you have asked for forgiveness for that one, and now there's another job that has brought you in contact with the person you made a mistake with, and she says no, don't
Once
do
we
this.
clear the mistake, it's cleared.
And then you just continue.
It's not that easy. It's not easy. Jesus Christ, please. We have to run.
I just hope he won't cry on stage. Omotosho says, thank you for bringing my favorite actor. Nikki says, I love that Igbo Yoruba character so much. Well done, Dimeji. So, hearing from you directly, I cannot believe that you're not married at all. Daddy Matilda says, thank you, ladies, for bringing my best Yoruba Nollywood actor.
Okay, on that note, we got to run. Thank you so much for coming. We enjoyed your company. Have a fabulous weekend, guys. We'll see you Monday. Bye for now.